Have you ever been curious of whether or not you should actually move forward on doing business with family or friends? Well, today we're going to be talking about some strategies on how to be successful with doing business with family and friends. Is it really a good idea? And some things to look out for. We're going to be talking about it coming up next. Hey, what's up, guys? It's Diana here with Entree Women TV, helping transition your passion into the business that you love. And on this channel, I do small business tech reviews as well as small business development and structuring reviews like we'll be talking about today. So if that's something up your alley, definitely consider subscribing. So we've all wondered the question whether or not we should really get involved with doing business with family or friends. Typically, those are some of the first people that we talk to when we're first getting started in a business or even having the ideas of getting started in a business. Those are some of our closest allies. Those are people that we know, love, trust, and care about. And so we value their opinions. And on the offshoot, there are a couple times that you may, decide we should do business together, or maybe you should help me with this business venture, or it'd be great if me and my favorite cousin could get together and do this particular business. It doesn't always work out that way. So today we're going to be talking about, again, some strategies that you can do to make sure that any partnerships that you have with family or friends is successful, and some things to watch out for. So it can be very problematic when you're first deciding whether or not you should do business with family or friends, or if you are actually going to be moving forward in involving them in some area of your business, maybe hiring them or something like that. It can be a lot of challenges, but just to name a few, you have one, which is the biggest one, which is the emotional changes that you can go through. You go from liking each other, having the best experiences with one another, to potentially questioning value systems and the way that you manage money and the way that you manage people and the way that you work together and communicate and all those different things that come together. So it's a lot of emotional exchange that happens when you're first getting them involved into your business, or maybe you're considering involving them in your business. Another area of why this can be problematic is because that can tie into how they handle situations. If it becomes an issue about money, or if it becomes an issue about a problematic customer or something like that, these things can cause a difference in opinions or a different methodology in how you execute on certain things, or how you resolve certain issues. Maybe they have a different temperament than you do. Maybe they're more lax and you're more structured. So these are some things that can kind of come about when you're first coming together to form a partnership or getting involved in business with friends and family, even if that's hiring them to do specific work in your company. I want to go through a couple things that I don't typically see done well when I'm looking at different people that are, putting together partnerships. One of the things that really is a problem is there is no formal structure in how things are set up. You know this person already, you trust them, you love them, you care about them. Otherwise, you wouldn't even consider to involve them in your business venture if you didn't. And that can also lead to false sense of trust in how they handle your affairs. You assume because they have your best just intentions as far as the money, as far as handling people. You think that they think alike the same way that you do. And the reason why I say you think is because you really don't know until you see them in action with you as you guys are doing this business venture. People can make some decisions that make you question, like, do I really know everything I need to know about you before we do this? Or, or was I naive about this, and all kinds of things. So you have to have a formal set structure, and just you guys sitting together and saying, hey, don't worry about it. I love you. I always have your back. I never have to worry about that. That is not the way that you want to go about getting started in a business or partnership, or even hiring them on. It has to be formal things set in place. It has to be the same way, if not a little bit more, to the structuring, to the business plan, and to the way that things are set up in the business, because it's got to be the same way as if they were a stranger. And the reason why I say as if they were a stranger is simply because you don't really know exactly how they're going to respond to you in this particular business until you get to it. You don't know how people are going to respond to, potentially stressful situations until they get in them. I'm sure that maybe if you found yourself doing things that are surprising to you, or I never would have guessed that I would have done X, Y, and Z, the same can be said of other people. So make sure you have a set structure and a formal agreement of how you're going to go about handling business. Second problem that I see with people that are getting involved in business with family and friends is that there is no money or dispute agreement set in place. So that if you guys get into an argument, if you guys disagree on how things should be handled, how a situation should be handled, revolving around money, or how things should be handled revolving around people, you need to figure out a way to resolve and diffuse situations and not continue to escalate. Because you know this person, there is a comfort level that exists that you maybe wouldn't have there with somebody that, is a friend, or somebody that is just an actual business partner, someone that you don't really, you're not that close with in your personal life. Well, if you aren't going to figure out how you guys can work through the difficult challenges that can come up, especially revolving around money, then you don't want to really jump into business without having something in place. With certain steps, it could be something as simple as if we disagree about something, the first thing that either of us would do, whoever points out the problem, is we have to sit and we have to have a discussion. Maybe if things continue to escalate, we involve a mediator. We go back and we look at the things that we said that we would do, and we follow them. So whatever that structure is and the thing that you have set in place, you have to follow that to the T. Otherwise, it doesn't mean anything. And when money situations come up, or issues that, make you just emotionally stressed out and stuff like that, you're going to be wanting to walk away versus go through the process, which is really what you want to have, is an actual process of how you're going to resolve issues that come up with money. If something's short, if something's missing, versus just accusing that person, actually going through the set structure and the way to resolve the issue successfully. Okay, so we talked about some of the things that can make it problematic and just very difficult to run a business with family and friends, but let's talk about some successful ways to actually make this happen. One of the things that I kind of mentioned a little bit ago is that you want to make sure you discuss everything. There should not be an assumptive type of system in place to where you assume they know your feelings, you assume they know your thoughts and the way things are. Discuss everything, from the money, from, again, dealing with good clients and difficult clients, dealing with referrals and them not stealing business or doing something else, different clauses that suggest that they can't go off, take your ideas and the things that maybe you've put together first and go create another business. Really look and think about how things work maybe at your job, at other corporations that are in your specific niche or area of business that you're looking to get into, and how you can just automatically resolve some issues simply by discussing them and coming up with a system and strategy of how you'll communicate challenges, as well as, again, referrals and things like that. If something comes through that you have, maybe 24 hours or 12 hours to notify your partner to let them know that this is what's going on, or whatever the case may be. So take into consideration that you want some time there as far as time restraints. How long should things go on? You don't want things progressing like a week and it can further get worse, or it just, something that should have been taken care of, 3 days ago, and you're just now finding out. So make sure you discuss everything and have a plan and a system in place so that you can make sure that everything gets laid out on the table. So tip number 2 to be more successful is put it in writing. If it is not in writing, it does not exist. And while, your word can be your bond, it's not necessarily the case for everyone. And people have been known to fall out, and that's one of the major challenges when it comes to doing business with family and friends. You wind up not being, friends with that person anymore, or having any dealings with them, even if they're your family, and you just have that disconnect and that distance between one another that wasn't originally there. So to avoid those things, you want to make sure that you are putting it in writing, because if it's not in writing, then it does not exist. There's no legal bounds or no legal grounds that you can take to any kind of court or anything like that to say, hey, this is what we had in place. They did not follow this agreement. They didn't stick to what we said that we would do. Instead, they did this and blah, 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 blah. So you want to make sure that it has to be in writing. Again, from the good to the bad to the gray areas. Make sure that you put it in writing. So tip number 3, and my final tip with how to be more successful with doing business with family and friends, is just keep your word. Something that kind of gets lost in, the digitalness of where we are today and just the fast pace that society is moving towards and just in right now, is that people don't keep their word. You can say whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. If we say that we're not going to put personal business, or we're going to limit, how much we're sharing, we're not going to talk about political stuff, and then you go out and as soon as something happens, you go live on your personal page and you don't have any restraints and you just go all off. Well, if we have it in writing, which is another tip that I said that we're not going to do that, and you break your word, then I want to come to you and discuss another thing that we talked about, discuss these challenges that we're experiencing and how this is not you staying in alignment and keeping your word and doing what it is that you said that you would do, and then go through the process of resolving that issue. So keep your word, do what it is that you say that you're going to do. And if you're not going to be able to do that, make sure you communicate that with your partner, your business partner, and that you are staying on top of things. You never want to let things get so far out of control that you don't really know how to come back from them. And those are just some tips of how you can watch out for some problematic areas, but then also have a successful partnership when you're working with family and friends. Question of the day: are you considering hiring a family member or a friend to start in your business, or are you considering maybe starting a partnership? Let me know down in the comments below, and if this video was helpful for you. Thanks for checking out today's video. Definitely consider subscribing if you love content like this. We do more videos just like this around business development and structuring, as well as video marketing to help you transform your passion into the business that you love, so you can create the side hustle that you really want. And that can be creating time freedom as well as more income in your life. So definitely subscribe if that's something that you want more on. But as always, my friends, live with passion, and I will see you guys in the next video.